All right, let's try this again. So I did a video the other evening speaking on Joe Biden's comments on Neanderthal thinking, in which he was referring to several states, Texas and Mississippi being the key ones, wanting to reopen 100% fully. And he called it Neanderthal thinking. It's another example of the right, well, stay on subject. So I think it's a senator in Texas, Rubio, spoke about. He sent an email talking about how this was a racial slur in essence to Asian people and all this. And it's another example of how weak Republican Party really is to try to use our talking points back on us. Um, and I just was thinking earlier today, getting ready for work here. I was thinking about how. What about when Trump made those comments at the press conference about the Kung flu to the Asian reporter and blaming it all on China? When Trump wasted 3 months, at least 2 months, on not responding to COVID. We can talk about racism over the last 4 years if you want to. We can do that. But that comment was more snide and like this snide, snickering schoolboy kind of. Every time they hear something, they're trying to find a way to be contrary and, well, you said this yesterday, and that's what that was. And I thought of Michael Brooks. Walk with me now. Stick with me for a second. Michael Brooks very often talked about how we on the left need to be united and love one another. And he talked about how we had to be kind to individuals, kind to people, but ruthless to institutions. I try to live that in my life. He talked about how when Bernie was running, a lot of the people that were against him, they weren't evil, maybe incompetent, but it wasn't evil. They just didn't know some of the things when he ran the first time. Some things he ran for could even happen. They didn't know. They didn't know it was possible to, not have certain people funding your political campaign and stuff like that. They didn't know that, And I thought about how we on the left may disagree on certain issues. There's a lot of people I follow. I follow Derry Packman, Kyle Kalinske. I watch a little bit Young Turks. I do. And I thought about how, in some ways, I understand they're different opinions, different viewpoints on certain topics. But I thought about how we on the left overwhelmingly agree on some very basic things. Lead up certain basic things, and just the idea that our society should have a robust sense of the public good, and that we should invest in science, and we should believe in our scientists, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought about how with Rubio's email that he made, talking about how the word Neanderthal is a slur to Asian people and whites and stuff. I talked about I might have a 1% Neanderthal in me. Who cares? Half the people here might have some Neanderthal in them. Who cares? Totally irrelevant. I thought about how even though we disagree on certain things, somebody may one day misgender somebody, or they may have a little tit for tat with Jimmy Dore. I don't watch Jimmy Dore. I haven't watched Jimmy Dore in months. I don't even subscribe to him. But we may have disagreements here and there. But the enemy we face, and I think Michael was pushing this. This is where he was going with it. The enemy we face is so much more vicious, so much more backbiting, so much more operating in bad faith. It is so much more kind of demented, if you want to, put it. I mean, I'm watching videos out here, people talking about Trump is still the president, and I mean, the enemy we face is just so much more malignant, than our differences. And as the founding fathers said, we have to hang together or we will hang separately. When they came to the Capitol, they had nooses hanging, guys. At least 3 nooses I saw. The enemy we face, we're already there. They're not playing. They're not kidding. They're not joking. They're already there on what they want to do to us and to certain members of the U.S. government. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer are 2 come to mind. I just think that we should put things aside. And I mean, I know, I know David Pakman, and Sam Cedar had a little jokes. I know a little kidding and joking about getting to a certain amount of subscribers, and talking about David Pakman uses bots, on the comments. I know that kidding. Okay, I like the kid and joke too. But the enemy that we face, man, they're not playing. They're not kidding. They're not playing. They're not joking. And it's serious. And I think sometimes we on the left, we don't see that. We don't live in those areas. I don't live in the South no more. We don't live in those areas. So I think sometimes we overlook it. It's kind of like being in a relationship with somebody and you leave them, they're bad. And then you forget about how bad they were and you meet them again. You're like, oh shit. Yeah, this is why I left them. That's to me the Republican Party. That's to me what the right is. Like you've got some people out here who delight in the shedding of innocent blood, who want America to remain an empire. I think sometimes on the left we look at the big wigs, the big boys, and we don't understand that in the final stages of fascism, final stages of capitalism, you have a lot of people who wish for a return to another era, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there, and they're open to the propaganda that the left wants to destroy America, that the left wants to destroy what America once was, and that we just hate those people's ancestors. I think sometimes we overlook the fact that those people are very dangerous. Some of them can't be reasoned with, and some of them are just they're already gone. I think that Michael would have wanted us to love one another and to respect one another and to appreciate one another for what we bring to the table. Our differences, which make us unique, only make us stronger. And I think I've watched Kyle Kulinski's doing the show with Crystal Ball. Don't really care for her. I don't watch the show. I've seen a couple episodes. I know Michael had a show with the woman from Young Turks, Anna Kasparian. I used to watch that weekends. I've seen Waldorf Report on there with what's the dude's name? Brother I like so much, man. Dude from Georgia. Dixon. I've seen that. I like to see that. Like I said, we have our own unique differences, and that's fine. That's okay. And I don't wish. And Michael talked about that, how we have to see the difference between our class differences, where we come from, and what we're trying to do. Not those things get in the way, because Republican Party, that's their tactic, is they want to destroy your way of life. They want to destroy the family. They hate your family, and they want to, do this stuff. It's fear. And I think Michael would have wanted us to just understand that the enemy we face is very dangerous, and that the idea that Trump not being reelected president was never going to mean the end of Trumpism. Never. It was never going to mean this is a problem that we face that's of indefinite duration. And I don't think that there's a hard and fast way to deal with Trumpism. It's mental illness, pure and simple. Thank you for listening.